Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to 444 Keys to Wisdom. I am doing past life readings with the Doreen Virtue deck. So, my spiritual community that understands reincarnation and past lives. A lot of times, if we can understand, what we were in another lifetime, it kind of helps us understand the battles in this lifetime, okay? So, I am doing individual signs with this one, and I'm on the sign of Aquarius. All right, so let's see what kind of past life information here can we get for the sign of Aquarius. I keep rubbing my nose. Sorry, y'all. Sinus issues. My nose is turning red. All right. Past life informations. Too many. Universe, ancestors. What kind of past life information can you give us for the sign of Aquarius? One card at a time, please. What kind of past life information or guidance can we give for the sign of Aquarius? Oh, wow. Thank you. Too many. One at a time, please. Past life information for the sign of Aquarius. Past life guidance and information for the sign of Aquarius. Past life information and guidance for the sign of Aquarius, please. This one can flip over too. Past life information for the sign of Aquarius. Past life information and guidance for the sign of Aquarius. A few more cards, please. Just one at a time. Hold on, let me get the one that fell. All right. Okay. Past life information for the sign of Aquarius. Let me get a couple more out here. All right. So let's leave that there. I got my air on, and it's like I'm in the basement and it's freezing down here. It feels great upstairs, but it's freezing down here. All right. Aquarius. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. There's one that flipped over and I didn't get it. All right, Aquarius, give me 1 second to look at this here. Okay. So Aquarius. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I got here. We got persecution and inquisition, trust and faith, trees, finances, imprisonment or slavery, ships, orphaned, love life, spouse, forgiveness, angels, wisdom. So Aquarius, you have a special connection to roots and family. Roots, family, legacy is very, very important to you in this lifetime with this trees. This could be a connection to nature outside. You could be someone who, connects heavily with nature. Being outside makes you feel at home. Gardening, growing plants, flowers, things like that could be one. But with the rest of these cards, I feel like this has to do with roots, family, legacy, where you come from. Okay. So something about family is very, very important to you. And the reason is, in a lifetime, you were an orphan. Okay. And I'm getting something here. Hold on. Let me just make sure I'm hearing this right. Okay, Aquarius. You had two parents with this spouse. I'm getting one scenario. There was a lifetime where your parents, spouse, with this love life, okay? They were madly in love. You had two parents that were madly in love with each other, okay? And you were a product of their love, okay? But there was something about their love that was not acceptable with this persecution and inquisition and imprisonment and slavery. Something about your parents was unacceptable for them to be together. I don't know if maybe someone was much younger. Maybe your mother was super young and your father was older, or they were two different religious backgrounds or two different races. And in this particular day and time that you lived, these two people coming together was not acceptable in society, whatever it is. I feel like with this trees, this roots, this has to do with races. They were of two different bloodlines or two different races, two different communities or something like that. But it was so unacceptable, or there was a huge age difference or something, but it was so unacceptable to the point where either your mother or your father, and I feel like it was a father, was persecuted for it and imprisoned for it. And your mother was shipped off somewhere, or a father was shipped off during imprisonment, but you were separated from your parents because you became an orphan. So Aquarius, you were an orphan and you spent a lifetime as an orphan. Okay. But you were the product of two people who were madly in love with one another. It was just that society did not accept their love. So in this lifetime, you could have had a situation where you fell in love with someone that's much younger than you. You fell in love with someone who's of a different religious background, a different race, a different social class, and it just was not accepted. Like, you dealt with your love relationships being accepted, or you dealt with you when it came to love in this lifetime, there was always a battle of acceptance. Okay. So you actually had two parents in another lifetime, Aquarius, who were madly in love with each other. But because of who they were not accepted. So Somebody went to jail. Somebody got put in jail, probably your father. You may have dealt with imprisonment in this lifetime. And either your father got shipped off to somewhere else to go to jail or something, or your mother got shipped off, or either way, your father was persecuted for this love, okay? And it caused someone to have to go to jail and be shipped off somewhere. But either way, it caused you to be without parents. You became orphaned, okay? And so whatever happened, you were a wise child, though. You're a child that was very wise beyond your years, okay? So you were able to forgive the situation. You forgave society. So in this lifetime, you could be someone who you had to forgive a lot of people. You've had to do a lot of forgiving, or you easily forgive people. You may have endured some abuse. You may have been wrongly accused a lot of certain things, or whatever the case may be. But either way, in that light, you didn't become bitter as this orphan. Okay? And I'm feeling like you were on a quest. You were determined to do something. You were determined to either put your family back together in this lifetime, or determined to save your bloodline, or something to that effect. But as a child, you accepted things very easily, and you put your trust and faith in a higher power. And even though you had to grow up with fatherless or without your parent, even though you were ripped away from a loving home, you were wealthy. You found a way to become very wealthy for yourself. Something in you felt like money was the answer to not let something like this happen again. On the bottom of the deck, food and hunger. So, as an orphan child in another lifetime, you had a lot of trust and faith, okay? You forgave the situation. You were just naturally wise, okay? And you were determined to not be poor. And you did that. I feel like you did that at some kind of way, or something to do with money is important to you. But it was because of the separation of your parents. Maybe in this lifetime, you have a special connection to orphan people. People that don't have parents. People that don't have a mother, a father. Maybe you're a mother or a father, and you've had to be imprisoned a couple times. You've been separated by bodies of water from your own children. But it was because you yourself was separated from your parents, and it repeated itself with your kids. But you have a special connection to children that don't have either a mother or a father, or both. Something about you likes to be an angel to people who don't have parents. Something about you likes to make sure people have a sense of family. Something about you wants to make sure people have a sense of belonging, because you were displaced from your home simply because of society's belief systems of your parents. You may have struggled in this lifetime with being accepted by society for something. You may be very different. You may be very different from society. You yourself may have been separated from a parent. But for some reason in your mind, you felt like if your parents had enough money, you would not have become orphaned. Maybe if y'all had enough money, y'all could have ran away together, and your dad would not have gone to prison, and your parents could have stayed together. Y'all could, if y'all had enough money, y'all could have ran away from all that, and none of you, there would have been a separation. So in your mind, you forgave society for what it was, but at a very young age, it's like you just had an understanding of something. And so you might be in this lifetime very driven by finances and making sure you have food and clothing, or making sure other people, you might be a person that takes care of a lot of people, or have had to take care of a lot of people. But you were in another lifetime, Aquarius, you were the product of two people that came together that were not accepted. And so society and its belief systems tore your family apart. Authority figures, transportation. You may have struggled with freedom. Anything that makes you feel confined, you have fought against. Anything that makes you feel like you cannot move. You are the kind of person that needs to move freely. You need to be able to have what you need to go at any point if you ever wanted to. You may have struggled with authority figures, which in this lifetime could have landed you in jail a couple of times. Your parents in the other lifetime were seen as something bad when it actually wasn't. They were actually very much in love. You were created out of nothing but pure love. And in this lifetime, like, they were seen as something bad, but actually they were something good. And in this lifetime, a lot of people may have misunderstood you as well. They may have seen you as a bad person. You may have been misconstrued a lot, misunderstood a lot as being this rebellious, horrible person. But in fact, you're not. You're not at all. You are actually very forgiving, very helpful. You'll protect people, whoever you have to. You don't discriminate. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And you have a lot of trust and faith in the unseen. You're very wise. You've learned a lot. People may have misunderstood you to not be smart or wise, but you're actually the complete opposite. But there's something going on in this lifetime where you always feel like money is the answer to everything. If I have enough money, I can stop just about anything from happening. You have a special connection to children or people or orphans that do not have enough food. You can't handle this. Seeing children like this that are hungry and need, you can't handle seeing children in lack. You don't like that. You're very generous. But any job that makes you feel enslaved, anything that takes away your freedom, you don't like that. You can't handle that. Even in a relationship, you need to be in a relationship where you can freely move about and be yourself. But anything that makes you feel confined, because you remember what it did to one of your parents. I'm thinking the father. You have been accused of being a horrible person to the point where you yourself may have been separated from your children at one point. Persecuted. but that's not you at all. But again, you didn't have enough finances to prove otherwise. And this has always been the goal. But that thinking comes from that other lifetime, because you felt as a kid, had your parents had enough money, they would have been able to stay together, stay in love, and y'all would not have been separated. Or you would have had enough money to get your father out of jail or something. You would have had enough money to go back home, or whatever happened. If you have children in this lifetime, when you did make your children, all of them, one of them, he, she, was made out of love. You were very particular in this lifetime of who you had children with. You're very particular. Because you yourself was a product of two people who were madly, madly in love. You were definitely created and made in love. But again, society made your parents' relationship look like it was something bad. It was something ugly, and they tore your family apart. That's why legacy, family, roots is very important to you. And to hold that together is money. As long as you have enough of this, there won't be, we can all stay together, we can do this, we can do that, and there won't be any of this. So there's been a financial fight that you've had all your life. There's been a fight for your personal freedom that you've had all your life. And you've had some issues with relationships too, but you were very particular of who you chose to have children with in this lifetime, though. And that's all I'm getting. That's all I'm getting. But you came from two people, like I said, that their relationship was not acceptable back then. So you may have had some real eccentric partners in this lifetime, or relationships that were looked at as rebellious in this lifetime, or you might have always been the rebellious party in a love relationship. If you were a guy, you could have been that guy that all the mothers and the fathers was afraid of their daughters being with. If you were the woman, you could have been the woman that most mothers don't want their sons with. You come off that way though, but deep down inside, you're not that. That's not who you are. You're this. But it's funny because I feel like you purposely, over the years, you have purposely made yourself look, you've purposely done that. Because some part of you just can't believe how ignorant humanity can be and blinded to what real love is. So that's all I got for you, Aquarius. I hope that helped.